Wow, it's time for another show full of tips and ideas from the sales growth leadership expert, Dean Akers. Known for his experience in hyper-growing companies and creating cultures for high-performance teams, here's Dean.
Well, welcome to your Sales and Leadership Ninja Show. Again, I'm your head ninja, Dean Akers, and each week I bring you a rant to stimulate your thinking in either the realm of sales or leadership. Today it's going to be a little bit different, but it comes about, again, as most of mine do, with people I run in through the week. And I got to tell you, this applies to everybody. It applies to every age, and I say every age. It applies to the working ages, from getting out of high school all the way to 70s. And the reason I'm ranting this week on it is it's really important, I think, to find this in yourself. And here's the questions. Are you frustrated with your career? I run into people every day that are tired of working for who they work for, don't like the job they have, want to do something different but don't know what they want to do, but they got to work. Are you working because you have to? 99.99999% of us are working because we have to, obviously. We've got to earn an income to have a lifestyle, pay our bills, feed our families, take care of ourselves, all the above. So have you ever thought about taking your passion and making it your career? Now, I meet with people all the time, and I ask them about their passion, and they struggle with saying it. In fact, I'll meet with somebody that's interviewed, and they'll hand me a resume, and I'll literally take the resume and tear it up in front of them, which I know is probably pretty rude. And all my listeners out there, or those that are watching, are going, Dean, that is terrible. Well, there's a purpose for it. And so what I do is when I do it, it's shocking to them. And I would shock you today by saying, what is your passion? And people will say, well, I love helping, working where I work or whatever. And maybe that is your passion. But most people are embarrassed to share their passion. Why? Well, I think they think that it's a hobby or a passing or something that they would like to do, but you could never really, really do it and make a living at it. So here's a question. What if you could monetize your passion? That's right. Ask yourself, what if you could monetize your passion? By the way, when you make your passion your career, you'll never work another day in your life. Now, I have people that work all the time. They work diligently. They're hard workers. But if I was to ask them how hard they work, they'd say, I'm not really working that hard, unless they're doing the canned speech to say, you got to work hard, you got to work hard. Most successful CEOs I've ever met, they'll go, you got to work hard. But the reality is they are following their passion, whether it's leadership, the marketplace they're in, or whatever. They're following their passion, monetizing it, and that's where they really become successful. And quite frankly, they never work another day in their life. So how does this work? I'm going to give you some steps that have worked for my folks I've helped over my career, and other folks around that have asked me this same question. How do you monetize your passion? One is identify it. That's right. You need to identify your passion. Identify it means get very specific. It could be pottery. It could be painting. It could be walking. It could be working out. It could be flying planes. It could be, mine is helping people and really motivating. This is why I do this podcast every week. I do a radio show every week, and I have no sponsors. I pay for it out of my pocket. And I pay for it because my listeners get to hear CEOs each week share their journey, which helps them, which makes me feel good. And my passion is helping people be more successful. And my passion is watching people smile and living in the moment and not having a lot of anxiety. So you want to identify your passion. Second, investigate it. This is critical. This is critical because a lot of people, when I start talking to them, they'll say to me, well, this is kind of what I really am passionate about. And then they'll say, Dean, you really can't make any money out of it. It's not really a business. I said, show me, or can you look me dead in the eye and tell me you've truly deep dived and investigated the space, done keywords, do keywords on your passion. The internet today is a masterful way to find out and help you. 25, 30 years ago, you just had to stumble around. Today, you can know for a fact identify your passion, and secondly, investigate it. When you investigate it, find the top 20 people or companies that do what you do. And if it's passion of art, if it's passion of IT, whatever your passion is, find the top 20. And you can go deeper than that. But if you start here, you're going to find some interesting stuff that your passion can be monetized. And quite frankly, it's going to be embarrassing that it can be monetized in a big way. My number two son's passion is cars, and he's been tearing cars apart. And he was telling me the other day, it's a competitive business. And then he gave me a name of a company that sells to new dealers used parts. I looked up and I started laughing. I called him right back. This company that he told me does 13 billion in sales. That's B with a billion. He had not really investigated them and look at how they operate. And then when we investigated them, we did price shopping, and we found out we were substantially cheaper than they were, and our customers don't even know it, and they're doing 13 billion in sales. So first, identify it. Second, investigate it, and then find the top 20 people that are doing what you do. Then, number 4, do the intel on them, like I just shared there. Do the deep dive. Look up their chairman. Look up their sales. If they're publicly traded, there's infinite data on them. Start really taking them apart. Go to their social media sites. Look at how they position themselves. Look at what they're saying to their audience. Do deep intel. Write it down. You should have a folder now that's identified your passion. You're investigating it. You found the top 20. Now you're doing your intel. Now you want to map out your plan in writing. Start bulleting the things you're going to want to do, need to do. I had one the other day said, well, one of the things I need to do, but I got to incorporate and I don't have an attorney. I said, you go online and you can incorporate in less than 5 minutes. Really, that's right, in less than 5 minutes. Then you can go online and find a company that does all your corporate books, your stock certificates, everything else. It's like $300 or something. They'll send you your minutes books, everything you've ever dreamt of. So don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. So map out your plan with estimated costs. I want you to do something that you learn in business school. It's called SWOT analysis. And all it is doing kind of a T and put SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And just fill out the strengths you have, the weaknesses you have, the opportunities you think in this business, and then the threats to the business. Do that overview. Now position and start working on it. Just work 10 minutes a day. That's right, just 10 minutes a day. And like I said, if you want one of these timers, just reach out to me. I'll send you one. And just go to help@adjunctceo.com and just say, Dean, I need a timer so I can do 10 minutes. I set this timer and I work on stuff for 10 minutes. Now I use my iPhone now, but this is more of a graphic. And when it rings, that's the noise it makes. It's very noisy. So at the end of the day, set your timer. Now, then, after you do this, you start working on 10 minutes a day. Don't self-talk. Now take a job in the area or begin your own in this area. Now you're on the way. So I've got a couple quick stories. One is I just shared the story of Dustin. Dustin's passion was cars. He now has a company that disassembles Mini Coopers and BMWs, and I think his niche is getting tighter into Mini Coopers, and he sells these parts all over the world. He has a great business. It's going to be a great business. He's going to look back on it 10 years from now and just start laughing to himself how well he's done, and he's followed his passion of staying in the automotive business, specifically specialty stuff. My oldest son, Doug, I'll just share a couple of my son's story. He's always been into roller coasters. Today, he's opening his 4th theme park around the world as a lead executive. And he's doing it with Universal in Beijing, China. You heard me right. He's in Beijing, China. That's after he transferred from Singapore, opening up Universal in Singapore. He is passionate about theme parks and roller coasters, and so that shines through in everything he does, and he just loves his job. And he's not even 40 yet, and he's going to be a rock star. What am I saying? Going to be a rock star. Another young man I met, his passion was skateboarding, but he looked at me, had a regular job, and said he couldn't do it. He has now put together a mission statement. He has social media sites. He's posting videos. He has a website where he's selling decks he's making. He's starting and off to the races. Is he where he wants to be? No. Is he a long way down the path of what he ever dreamed of? Hell yes. And the other thing is everything around him is better. And then one of my favorite ones is a young man I met who his passion was going to movies and art. And today he has a YouTube channel and he does movie reviews where he does art while he does the movie review, and then he posts it up and it's epic. He's just starting out, but this energy translates into everything else he does in his life. And that will be successful if he stays at it. And I'm encouraging both of those young men every day to stay at it because they're onto something. So, once you start your journey and you follow it, everything around you in your life gets better. It's true for all these folks. So I encourage you to look in the mirror. Don't be afraid to shout out your passion, then follow the steps, and you'll never work another day in your life. Have a great week. See you next week.
We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Subscribe today to our podcast and send questions or thoughts to help@deanakers.com. Also, visit us at www.deanakers.com to listen to prior shows and view helpful videos. Also, great tips to download. Thanks again. See you next week.